Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I am Nur Ain binti Zakaria and my group mate is Siti Nur Aminah binti Azizan and Aino Marza binti Norizan. We would like to present about the impact of perceived service quality and perceived safety and security influence the loyalty among ferry passenger at Langkawi.
My name is Siti Nur Aminah binti Azizan and I will explain about the background of the study. So firstly, on the background, we focus on the water transportation, which is ferry service in Langkawi Island. This is because the tourist experience and perception on the tourism product will always begin and end with the transportation. Then in passenger ship also demand in terms of the every aspect of ship design and operation such as safety, service quality and customer satisfaction. Lastly, customers also have high degree of service quality, which is also have high level of loyalty, which is transportation, especially in service quality and safety security of the passenger.
Problem statement. As you can see, there are three problem statements that stated in the slide, which is first, ferry service are at a low safety level compared to other ferries in Malaysia. Next is issue with implementing passenger safety and security procedures, and the last is the lacking condition of the quality service in ferry.
Two objective and three research questions that relate for each other. For the research objective 1, it will focus on how the perceived safety and security will impact the image and satisfaction of the ferry services. And the second objective will focus on the perceived service quality impact that puts image and satisfaction. And lastly, to determine how the image and satisfaction will impact the loyalty toward the ferry services.
Next part is about theoretical framework. Okay, we in this study have 5 variables, which is perceived safety and security, perceived service quality, satisfaction, image and loyalty. Okay, these five variables being our research framework, which is adapted from Nguyen et al. In 2021.
Hypothesis. As you can see, there are 6 hypotheses in the slide, which is show the positive relationship between perceived service quality, perceived safety and security, the image, and the passenger satisfaction.
The significance of this study will focus on the practical and academical. For the practical will help to the authorities or the organization to understand better the impact by the result obtained in this study. Thus, this also will lead to the improvement of the service. And for the academical, it can be used as the reference for the future research in finding the literature or the issues that highlight in the study.
Okay, next slide is about chapter 2, which is cover about literature review. For first variable is about perceived service quality. According to Sati et al. In 2021, service quality can be determined by comparing consumers' perception of the actual service. They receive the actual service and then they expect for the service, which is service quality. And then for the next variable is about perceived safety and security. According to Coppola and Silvestri in 2022, the concept of perceived safety and security is from various factors that include external environmental factor and then individual subject factor.
Continue with literature review, which is image, satisfaction and loyalty.
Next slide is about the study setting, which is the location, study area in Langkawi Island. And then for the research design, the study is use quantitative research, descriptive study, cross-sectional, and unit of analysis, which is individual.
Population and sampling. In population, there are population, sample size, sampling design, and the population are individual, which is ferry passenger that will be selected as the subject in the sample. And the sampling was stated by Hare et al. In 2018.
I will explain for the instrument component for the independent variable, which is perceived safety and security, that will use Likert scale from the 1 to 5, which represent the strongly disagree to the strongly agree. And the net is perceived service quality that adopts source from Chow et al., which is also Likert scale from the strongly dissatisfied to the strongly satisfied.
Okay, continue for the previous slide. It's about the instrument component. Okay, this part is about dependent variable, which is satisfaction, image, and loyalty.
Next is data analysis. In data analysis, there are SPSS, frequency analysis, reliability test, and multiple regression.
Okay, for this part is about the data collection, which is secondary and primary data. For the secondary data, we use the past research or article to do the research, and then for the question, we distribute the questionnaire by share the Google link form to the WhatsApp group, also Instagram and Facebook. And then for our research is about the age at least 18 years old and above to answer our question.
Next slide is pilot test. As you can see, there are table 3.5 that show about the cron-alpha, which is tell about the reliability test on pilot test.
Explain the summary of the result in respondent profile. So first, for the gender, female respondents are more dominant compared to the male respondent. And for the age, the respondent majority are from 18 to 25. Next, the marital status for respondents are majority from single with 82%. Then, for the education, the majority of them is bachelor degree. And for the occupation, is student mostly that take part in this survey. And for the table show the reliability analysis of the actual survey. As you can see here, the overall reliability for the each variable state the cron-alpha from the 0.9 to 0.8. As stated in Sharma for the reliability table that we adopt, for the 0.8 to 0.9 is the internal consistency is considered as good. And for the 0.9 and above will consider as excellent based on the cron-alpha. The table shown on the slide, the data show for the descriptive analysis of process safety and security for the departure. So the highest mean of this item question will be the PSSD6, which is the presence of the staff or police at the ferry terminal make the passenger feel safe. Okay, the mean of the question item is 4.18 with a standard deviation of 0.824.
Okay, next slide we'll cover about 4.4, which is descriptive analysis. Okay, table 4.11 is perceived safety and security on board. Okay, there has two highest item, which is the question about staff and police present on the ferry make respondent feel safe. Also, same mean with the item question about safety equipment is available on the ferry, which is the mean is 4.18. For the slide, which is 4.4 descriptive analysis. Table 4.12a is a perceived service quality on tangibility. Okay, for the highest item, which is the question about comfort of air conditioning, which is the mean is 3.99. And then for the lowest item question is about noise insulation in ferry, which is the mean is 3.72.
Next slide is descriptive analysis. In the table 4.13, show the perceived service quality convenient. The item frequency of ferry services shows the highest mean among others. Now, continue with descriptive analysis. Table 4.14 show the perceived service quality personnel. The item knowledge of employee show the highest mean among others. The next table is 4.15, show the perceived service quality reliability. The item steadiness of ferry driving shows the highest mean among others.
Analysis for the image show the highest item of the question in mean is IMA1, which is the Langkawi ferry system has a good image in the mind of the passenger, with the mean is 4.23. The table shows the descriptive analysis for the satisfaction. So the highest mean between the three items is S81 and S82 because they were the same mean at the 4.22, which is the highest among the three.
About the loyalty, okay, for this part, highest item, which is question about respondent intend to travel by Langkawi ferry system more than often in the future, which is the main 4.31. Next slide is about 4.1, which is regression analysis. This study is using multiple linear regression method. Okay, for 4.5.2, relationship between perceived safety and security, perceived service quality and image. Okay, for the table 4.19, which is the regression analysis for hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2. So for the R square for both hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2 are same, which is 0.710.
Next slide shows the relationship between perceived safety and security, perceived service quality, and image. The table 4.20 shows the coefficient for hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2. Next slide is about relationship between perceived safety and security, perceived service quality, and satisfaction. In the table 4.21 shows the regression analysis for hypothesis 3 and hypothesis 4.
The table shows the multiple linear regression analysis for the two independent variables, which is perceived safety and security, and perceived service quality toward the satisfaction, which is the dependent variable. The hypothesis for the relationship of the perceived safety and security and satisfaction is positively significant. If we can see from the beta that show the positive value, and also the significance is below the 0.05. So this hypothesis is support in the positive relationship between the IV and DV. The same goes as well in hypothesis 2. Explain about the relationship between the image, satisfaction, and loyalty. So for your information, there were two IV at there, which represent for the both hypothesis, which is for the image and satisfaction, and the DV will be the loyalty. So in the table show that for the R square for both hypothesis is 0.777, and for the F chain is 431.237.
Next slide is for 4.5.4, which is the relationship between image, satisfaction, and loyalty. Okay, table 4.24 is coefficient for hypothesis 5 and hypothesis 6. Okay, both hypotheses have positive value of the regression coefficient, which for hypothesis 5 is their beta is 0.611, and for the hypothesis 6 the beta is 0.305. Both hypotheses are supported.
Capitulation of finding of the study. There are RO1, which is identify how the perceived safety and security impact the image and satisfaction of the ferry. Based on the result, it's revealed the perceived safety and security, which is the independent variable, has positively significant impact on both dependent variable on the image and the satisfaction of ferry services. RO2 to determine how the perceived service quality impact the image and satisfaction of ferry services. According to the chapter 4, the result shows that perceived service quality is a positively significant impact on the image and satisfaction of passenger toward ferry services.
Finding or discussion result for the third objective is show that the image and satisfaction is positively significant impact on passenger loyalty of the ferry service. So it will lead to the loyalty for passenger in choosing the transportation mode, which is ferry to Langkawi Island. For the implication of the study, I will explain more in the academic implication, which is this study will help to fill the literature gap by highlighting the issue in ferry transportation in Langkawi. This is because there are few studies about service quality, safety and security in transportation, but there is less study focusing on the ferry transportation, especially in terms of loyalty of the passenger. And for example, for the research, almost of the research that we found on the internet were for the public transport. So mainly they not focus on the ferry transport.
Next slide is about limitation of study. Okay, first point is about the amount of time available to collect the data required was extremely limited. So the researchers plan to conduct this investigation over a long period of time in order to achieve more reliable results. Unfortunately, due to data's limited available, as a result, the research finding may be out of date. And then for the second point is, it is tough to acquire primary data through questionnaire, since it is very difficult to persuade local tourists to participate in this survey. They usually don't have time to respond to our answer the questionnaire that have been sent out. So for the next point is, the open-ended question could be utilized in future studies to allow respondents to express their actual feeling about the subject. Okay, this one is about the recommendation. For the first recommendation is about the future research may benefit from focusing more on trust and assessing the image and commitment of passenger towards ferry transport that passenger experience itself. And then for the second recommendation, in addition, future studies should aim to improve understanding of what is not being measured. And then for the third recommendation, these studies must like to provide useful information to the ferry service operator to improve the quality of service to the level that satisfy the user, as it can affect their safety. And then for the third recommendation is about the transportation management should also practice firefighting drills based on the issue in the problem statement by conducting like firefighting drills, strengthening the safety aspects such as proper public announcement system, and placing children's safety jacket in easily accessible location. And then for the next recommendation, expected that ferry operator must take preventive measure to overcome accident and not take any selfish decision by taking advantage of carrying excess passenger than the capacity allowed by the maritime.
In conclusion, the research study had achieved the objective of investigating how perceived service quality and perceived safety and security influence the loyalty among passengers in Langkawi. The result shows that most of respondents satisfied with the level of satisfaction, and it can be concluded that when passenger satisfied with the services, they will repeat the trip in the future.